The man of the year is a
Seriously.
woman, and the woman of the year is a man. And that's where we're coming to realize that there is no difference between men and women anymore. It's just who wants to be a man, who wants to be a woman is just up for grabs.
This is Vivian Villacis.
And this is Raul Villacis.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the Got Money and Sex podcast. My name is Raul Villacis, and I'm here with my beautiful queen.
Yes, so happy to be here. My name is Vivian Villacis.
So we're finally in the holidays. The holidays are here. We just finished Thanksgiving. This is our favorite season. So what are you excited about?
It's my favorite season. Like, I love Thanksgiving. It's bittersweet because we had your dad pass away right on the holidays.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
4 years ago, Thanksgiving Day. And, like this year for me, it was like, I thought it was going to be just like continue to be sad. But it was just so many gifts that he continues to give me. And I just, I love how we could slow down time and we could be with the family. And I think, I know that we have a very tight, loving family, but I think his passing has made our family even stronger and just more meaningful, just deeper. And I love him for that. And just, I continue to thank God for it because there's always a gift.
I think the holidays expose a lot of pain because a lot of people who don't have the family members,
right. That's true.
People who are no longer here, and also a lot of joy. So we got to look at the holidays as an opportunity to celebrate the ones that we have, to celebrate the opportunity that we get to enjoy them one more holiday, and don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
When I look back 4 years ago and my father passed away on Thanksgiving, it was the hardest time of our lives. And every year
horrible.
we got stronger. We begin to heal. So I think this year is probably the first year that we're actually bringing back that Thanksgiving joy, that the family got together. We laughed, we ate, we cried, but it was all from love. So
yeah, I love it.
I'm
I
excited
love it.
for the holidays.
Oh, and also, the joy that we still get from our kids. I know like our kids are older already, but just like that really childlike mentality of just having joy in the smallest things possible. And I think that teaches me every time like holiday season comes, there's so much to do. It teaches me like, okay, what do I want to slow down for and really be fully present to, whether it's us going as a family dinner or putting our tree together. It forces me in a good way to like slow down and be fully present to what's happening in front of you.
We have to focus on the traditions, right? Like the tradition of the tree, the tradition of the dinner. I think as long as the families hold on to their values and their traditions, they're gonna stick together.
I love that. Yeah.
I think a lot of people think that the holidays are an opportunity for you just to kind of spend a lot of money, drink, eat all you want, but then you're gonna come back. I think the older that we get, we value the holidays in a different way.
Definitely.
When we used to be little kids, we looked at the holidays like, I can't wait to get my presents. I can't wait to buy presents.
Yeah.
Then when we're teenagers, we can't wait just to have parties. We can't wait to
Go out
hang
and do
out and
stuff.
go out.
Yeah.
Then as you get married, you have kids, you can't wait to see the kids open up the presents. You get that joy.
You
And
live
as the
through
kids
that,
get
yeah.
older, it's like you can't wait to see everyone together. So we go through stages.
Every season is so different, but I think when we learn to appreciate that in us, like wherever we are, wherever season you're in, like just fully enjoy it. And I think that's one of the hardest things for us as humans is like, we're either want to go back to the past and do things different, or we're looking to the future of things like what could change and what can I do? And I know like I often catch myself doing that plenty of times. So I know for me, like this last couple of years has been like, how can I just be fully present to what's happening in front of me? I think, our kids are really a beautiful teachers when it comes to that. So that's where I am right now, just enjoying and basking in that.
So we're going to have in this podcast, we're going to give you guys some insights on how to close the year strong as a power couple.
Mm-hmm.
We had a coaching call with one of our clients this week. We gave them a really good framework that we actually practice a lot. But first, let's talk about two topics. We went to see the movie Napoleon, and you and I were discussing the cover of a GQ magazine. So let's have you seen the cover of the GQ magazine?
I have seen the cover. This is Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian as the man of the year. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so first of all, I was thinking like, is there not enough men in the world that they need to pick a woman to put someone in the cover, and not to belittle what she does, because like I know there's a lot of men and women, let's just say people that don't like her because of for whatever reason. There are so many reasons, but I just think like, the effort and the discipline that they have as, the Kardashians, like they get shit done, right? But why does she need to be in a GQ Men of the Year? Like, is it not enough to do what she does and be in that magazine?
I don't mind her being in the cover, but why does it have to be, again, the man of the year? I think there's another cover of another magazine that was the woman of the year. There was a man. So I think that right now, are we in the twilight zone? Like, the man of the year is a
Seriously.
woman, and the woman of the year is a man. And that's where we're coming to realize that there is no difference between men and women anymore. It's just who wants to be a man, who wants to be a woman, is just up for grabs. And I think that it's just devaluing the roles that the masculine energy plays and the feminine energy plays. Because the man of the year should be a man who
Stands out.
men want to be like.
Yeah.
Because if I look at a magazine, I say, man, that's the man of the year, man. I want to strive to be the man of the year. If I look at a magazine, I don't want to be Kim Kardashian. I
Right.
don't want to strive to be Kim Kardashian. So that's just, what is that message telling our kids? Like, as my son is turning 18 years old. Can I tell him, hey, look at GQ magazine and find something inspirational about where you want to go? I mean, obviously we don't do that. But just an example, right? Because
Yeah.
we never have GQ magazine, but
I know,
it
but
just
then
gives the kids their own perspective of who do I have to become? Who am I going to become in order for me to be successful? Is that what success is?
and that's the kind of like the challenge that I have, because there's so many little girls out there, like this teenage girls that are always looking up to like the Kim Kardashians, Kardashians, whatever their names are. They're looking up to them in a really like just deep, like I want to be like you type of role model. And for her to be in that place, like what does it say about this, what we teach about our feminine energy and our masculine energy? So then again, it goes to this place where we're off balance. Like we were talking about this before. So like now this little girls, these teenagers are looking at her like, well, I want to be more like a man. I want to run a company and I want to do like all these things. So it's like, I'm going to take on this masculine energy instead of like, why can't she just hold on to all the good things that she has and shows what a kick-ass woman she is?
She could be the woman of the year.
And she probably
she could
is.
be the woman of the year. She has a great brand. She has
Right, she does
has
so
kids. I
much.
mean, one of the things that the reason that I wanted to bring this up in this podcast is because if we as couples, as married couples, we don't have this type of conversations, we are being part of the problem and just putting things under the rug and saying, no, it's okay. Like, we are constantly having this conversation with our kids so they could actually understand their role in society, who they're going to become. Because if you give them too much options, now you could become anything. You could be the man of the year if you're a woman. You could be the woman of the year if you're a man. It's too broad. And right now, kids are so confused that they are
Of course.
easily influenced
Yeah.
to follow the trends.
And that's what, like, when I talk to my coaching clients, my queens, I always tell them, like, we have to be that example for them, for our children. Like, that's how we start to change the world. And I know for, like, I had this conversation last week with one of them. It's like, it's uncomfortable sometimes for us to be in this leader position, right? Like, as a regular mom, as a regular woman, like, but that is what's going to change the world and bring it back into balance. Because if my little girl sees me speaking about love and God, money, and sex, and I'm okay with like being out there, not being perfect, not being a Kim Kardashian, then she sees like what's possible, right? Instead of, we have this role models like a Kim Kardashian that she has millions and billions of followers, that she's talking to our little girls, and not enough of us, like just like the normal loving people that these girls could look up to.
One of the things that we could do is be aware of why they're trying to sell us. Because the more I looked at it, and I looked a little bit deeper, is she's the man of the year because she's coming out with a man's brand on her clothing
Yeah.
line.
If you don't
right?
know, like
So
Kim Kardashian has a Skims line that does
if everything is
all-inclusive,
marketing. So when you start
all-inclusive.
looking at this, TV is marketing, movies are marketing, magazines are marketing. So everyone is always trying to sell you something. So that's what I tell my kids. Just understand, Everybody's trying to sell you something. It's up to you to either buy what they're selling you. Movies are trying to sell you something, and if you're not aware of what they're trying to sell you, then you could be
You just keep falling for
influenced
it. Yeah.
and buying something that you truly don't believe in.
Yeah.
So just having the awareness of what are they trying to sell me? Okay, now I understand. Man of the year is because they want me to buy your clothes. They want me to be part of your
She is a great businesswoman
brand.
because she's taken over like the generation of like women, all inclusive, all different colors. Like she has like 10 different shades of bras per se, right? So it's like she's done with all of that. She's making that money. So now she's transitioning to the Department of Men. Which
She's a great marketer. She's a great
the men are probably
marketer.
gonna buy it just 'cause it's Kim
The
Kardashian.
fact that she's in that cover magazine just shows you the power of marketing. So
Oh, yeah.
if anything that you guys get from the podcast is to just have these conversations. Don't put things on the rug. Have the perspective of like, what are they trying to sell me? What is the influence? Always be aware of what you're being influenced to do. Like marketing, the movies that you watch, the books that you read. That's why I love to read books, because it programs my mind to think different. And I love to just constantly see what is possible, who's doing what I want to do. Just don't take anything that social media is giving you as facts. Do your homework,
Right.
study, see what is the deeper intention behind this message.
I love that.
So and then we go to the next topic, which is Napoleon. So that's another conversation for like. I was so excited to watch the movie.
I know you
I was so
were.
excited.
I know
The
you were.
director of the movie was the same as the guy who did the movie Gladiator. So Gladiator is one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
I was excited to watch this movie. I'm thinking Napoleon, one of the greatest generals, going to be a war movie. I'm going to have a lot of testosterone. I'm going to watch it. It's a 3-hour film, so I'm going to laugh. I'm going to cry. It's going to be intense, like all the emotions that an epic movie should have. So what did you think about Napoleon?
I mean, I did like it. I enjoyed it. I felt like they didn't make him look like the general, the person that won so much. Yes, there was a lot of, death, but that is war, like that's what's supposed to happen when the war was happening. But I felt like at the end, it was like just belittling him all the time. At the end, I mean, eventually everybody dies, of course, but the way that they made him, how he had to like just again, it comes back to relationships. Just let go of the person that he loved because of the love of his country. Was that a decision that he really wanted to make as a man, as a general, as a leader? I don't know if he was influenced by Parliament and everybody else that, was behind him. I don't know. It felt so sad. It didn't feel empowering.
It just told a story of how he became to power and how he lost his
All
edge.
of it. Yeah.
He lost his edge, and this is the pattern that I see with a lot of men. You lose your edge because you forget why you
You're
are
fighting
doing
for.
what you do.
Yeah.
You forget what you're fighting for. So
Yeah.
he forgot why he was fighting for. He
Yeah.
got too comfortable. The power went into his head, and then eventually he lost his edge because he forgot what he stood for. He tried to please everyone around him
Definitely.
and ended up being miserable. He tried to please his wife, and we talk about all the time. Being a pleaser will repel you, right? His wife was cheating on him because he was always trying to please her. He was always trying to be the nice guy in the bedroom, the nice guy in the household.
And when he wasn't, he was like a kick-ass type of
And
man.
he was a general. I mean, he
Right.
was a badass general. When he went to the battlefield, he won. When he went at home, he lost. And that's
That's
why
right.
his wife kept on cheating on him. And he just was like a little sad puppy, a weak man that just tolerates those things instead of saying, "Hey, listen, if you don't be with me, I'm a general. I'm an emperor."
Yeah.
And then, I guess, value yourself to the point that you know what you stand for. And that's what we saw, a movie of a man who became great, but then lost his
it.
edge, and his legacy ended up being one of being alone in an island without the love of his life, without
His country.
his country, without the praise.
Yeah.
So that's a huge lesson for every single one of us to understand that you could conquer the world, but if you don't conquer yourself, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, success is not about what you get or what you accomplish. is what are people saying about you at the end. And at the end, your deathbed, in your last days, who is going to be there? Because I remember my grandfather, 85 years old, and his deathbed, it was all his kids, his wife. That's legacy. That's how I want to die that way. I want all my kids to be around me, all my grandkids to be around me. And I want to be like the emperor. You get buried with me, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Like the Egyptians. Bring my wife with me.
Yes. You're going to have to wait because I have a long way for it. But yeah, I think it was really sad. And then at the end, it was funny because we came out of the theater where like it all comes down to relationships. Like it always comes back to that because at the end, like you felt like yearning that he wanted her by his side. There was so many things that were like unsaid, undone. And at the end, it's like, how do you really like live your life the way that you like? What's your happy place instead of pleasing everybody else? He took care of everybody else, and then at the end, he was there by himself. I mean, granted, we come to this earth by ourselves. We're gonna leave by ourselves, but the way that we leave, like it has to be from a happy place, from just like a place of fulfillment, and just like laying down and saying like, I gave it my all.
So I saw something in the movie, and I wanted to see if it was true. Like he was raised by his mother, and he was always trying to please his mother. So I think that's the pattern.
Did they show that?
That his mother was there all the way through, and every single time that he won a battle, he would send his mother something.
Oh, okay, yes,
So
that was the mother. Sorry, I
he
must
was
have fallen
always
asleep
trying
in
to-
one of them.
He probably fell asleep. He was trying to always please his mother, and then when he met, I think Josephine, or it's Josephine, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to. That was like his mother
Figure. Yeah.
You know, so I think the pattern is that eventually when we married a woman and we want her to be our mother, like that's where we lose there was no passion, there was no connection. He went to her more for her to
Like nurturing.
nurture him as opposed to
Yeah.
become the lover.
Yes.
That's what she was looking for, other lovers, because she wanted
Right. You're right.
the connection, a deeper connection. He wanted a man, not a little boy that will come home just because he was tired of being in the
Right.
battlefield.
Yeah. She wanted the lover, and she wanted to exude that temptress energy when he came back from war. But it was really the opposite because she had to be there to kind of, which is okay, like clean up the wounds and take care of him and like build him back. But it's like you just won the war. Like come to me like you
Like
want
a
it.
warrior. Yeah, come to me like a warrior, but he
Yeah.
came in. Yeah,
Come to me like a king.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great distinction to see. Like
Yeah.
if you are a king in the boardroom and you're a peasant in the bedroom, your woman is not going to respect you. You got to be a king in the boardroom and a king in the bedroom in order for you to have that deeper connection.
And this is something that we also talk about, you know, when we say about like our power couple, how to be that power couple. And I think it takes like that awareness of like, what is it that you need in the version of yourself where you are at the moment in your relationship, like in the season that you're in, right? Like, and it's having those conversations because they were both clearly not communicating. Like he would just be angry and all of a sudden just
They both had issues.
take what he wanted.
They both
and
had issues.
She wasn't talking.
And they were together. That's what I always say. They were together trying to complement each other or fulfill each other. So as opposed to them being a whole person, they were always trying, like, you are my better half and she's my better half. And that's what creates a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And when she couldn't have kids, that was the saddest part, when he had to divorce her.
Not because he wanted that because of his country. Because
Yeah.
obviously
he sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed the love of his life. He sacrificed his health. But at the end, this is the perfect example of when a man tries to please everyone, but he doesn't take care of himself. He ends up alone.
I agree.
He ends up broken. And he ends up lost. He ends up losing his edge.
Yeah, you definitely felt that. It was one of those movies that, you know, from our perspective, like you just felt like what the man was going through, both man and woman, just like the pain of it. It was just so painful.
But now, do you think now again, we were talking about like people are always selling you something. Do you think now the movies are trying to sell us on like how men are not as good as we thought they were? Because when I thought of Napoleon, I thought this guy's a badass general. I'm gonna watch an epic like movie, but now I'm feeling sad for him. You know,
Well, the
so do
way
you
that
think
they
that now,
write it, yeah.
now the movies are trying to sell us like, hey, you thought these guys were up here, but let me tell you, they were really not that great. And now the story of the man is more of a weak man as opposed to a powerful leader.
Exactly. And, like the stories that were told, like in books, when you read them, they're completely different. One, because of the way that they're told, it's like history. And two, because you add your imagination to it. So for me, it was always like, again, the leader, the conqueror. And now that they're telling the stories, like you're right. Like it doesn't edify the version of a man. It kind of just belittles them. And it's like, well, he didn't do what.
Emasculate him. That emasculates the hero.
He didn't do as much as you think that he did.
So if it wasn't for me that I took you to see the movie, would you have gone to see? Were you like, hey, I can't wait to watch Napoleon?
No.
So you see, I think that the
It's not my type of
studios
movie,
or
no.
the marketing department is missing who is their audience, because if they're creating a movie of a great general and they're going to emasculate the guy, they're going to lose, because you know how much money they lost in the box office?
Probably a lot.
They're down $200 million. They're lost $200 million in this film, because no guy wants to see that.
Right.
Like I'm not recommending my friends to go see that. I'm not gonna tell my guys, hey, let's go. If a Gladiator, I think I saw that like 5 times. I went the
Yes.
first time, like I gotta see that again, and I brought my brother, brought my cousins, brought my whole team. Like we went to see Gladiator. Like that's, if your audience is men, then you gotta do a movie that empowers the hero.
Yeah, and then
give
again,
him a hero story.
yeah, because then it goes back to like you're trying to please. Even the writers are just trying to please everyone. Like, what does everybody want to hear nowadays? And again, it goes back to just the simplicity of like man and women. Not to make one side right or wrong, but it's like men in the past, they were fighting the wars. So like, give him the credit.
Give him the credit that he
Give him the
deserves.
credit.
He was
Like,
a
he
great
fought the
emperor.
war.
He conquered it. Give
Yeah.
him the credit. Give me that epic story.
Right.
You don't.
From
Maybe
like an empowering place.
I was as I watched the movie, I was waiting for when is it going to turn around. When is it going to turn around? And it didn't ever did. I'm like 3 hours of my life, like, oh shit, like I feel
Yeah,
bad.
I
felt, like little depressed for him.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's
You're
the
right.
review.
You're
So
right. It's
spoilers in this
thinking about it.
podcast. If you haven't watched Napoleon, we'll probably save you the money right now.
Yes, don't
wait
watch
until it comes out on Apple.
And then if you watch it, let us know what you think, because it's also like perspective where you are in your life and how you see things. And I know for us, you and I, we're always thinking about like, relationships, and we're thinking about the masculine and the feminine energy and how it is edified, how is it used, how is it being like,
I always
talked about.
look at what do I want to get out of a movie. I want to be entertained. And I
Yes.
want to leave. I want to be entertained. I want to feel like, man, I learned something from those 3 hours.
Me too. I like to learn and I like to be inspired.
And the third is I either want to be inspired, I want to be scared,
No, I don't want to be scared.
I want to be I want to think different, right? So that's entertainment for me. Like if I watch something, I want them to entertain me in a way that is empowering for me.
Yeah.
This movie had none of that. It was very emotional. I didn't feel like I just felt at the end. It just felt sad.
Yeah. You felt the
there
sadness,
was
you
there
felt
was
the
no
pain.
adventure. It was adventure, but there was
nothing epic.
there was nothing epic. There was
Yeah.
nothing epic. So let's go to the next topic, which is how to close the year strong.
As a power couple. As a power couple. And these are conversations that Raul and I always have. Like, if this is you listening to this or watching this, Raul and I have been married for 24 years. And I think that's one of the best things and the best investment that we've done in our marriage. And that's going away. We actually unplug ourselves from the normal routine that we have at home. And whether we go to a vacation, a quick getaway, a
Make some
hotel
time.
down the street, we
Make
just
some
make
time
some,
with
yes,
each other.
we allocate some time.
Quality time.
And we really start thinking about like, what do we want our next year to look like? And we don't wait till like December 31st. We actually kind of set up before it even happens. And you and I took some time in November. We went away. And I think it's just really powerful for you to sit down and to schedule the time. I think that's something so important. Schedule the time and have these conversations as a couple, because that's what gives you the power to say, like, first of all, being a power couple is having communication.
So now let's give them some insights in order for them what to do to close the year strong. We talked to our clients yesterday.
Yeah.
We gave them 3 questions for them to
Yeah, that was great.
to think about. I think quality time and making time, they have to do that in order for them to communicate with these questions. If you don't have time for your relationship, you're going to be in trouble.
If you don't have time for a relationship, then you don't feel like you're a priority. Because I think like for us, I've always felt like we are a priority. I am a priority because you're investing time, money, and energy into it.
What's the whole point of you building a business if you don't prioritize the people that you love, like your family, like the connections? And I think that's where we fall short as men, because we think, that right now, I'll do it. Once I make the money, I'll do it. Once I have this, and it's never enough.
Right.
And then 10 years go by, and then you're miserable because you never gave her what she was asking, which is attention. So the first question that we ask him to do is to write down one thing that you appreciate about your partner. What's the one thing you could appreciate about your partner? And the moment you start thinking about what can I appreciate, and then we ask them to tell each other what is the one thing they appreciate about each other. The second question is, what is the one thing that you think you did that you're winning on as a partner? And what's something that you feel like, man, I'm kicking ass on this. Like I'm badass on this.
It's your time to brag about yourself.
Yes, and then the partner has to give you feedback on that. So, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, you're doing it. Or like, oh baby, it's not as good as you thought. Like, it's time for you to get some feedback. Okay. And the third is, what's the ask? What is the ask? What is it that you need? And I think that in our marriage we've gotten this far is because we know how to ask. Like, and not from a place of entitlement. Like, I need this, I want you to give me this. It's from a place of, this is what I need, and this is why I need it. So learning how to ask is key, because just because you ask, you're not. If you ask somebody, it doesn't mean they're gonna get it. But if you ask somebody and then you tell them why you need it, they're more likely to give you what you want.
You're right.
And then from that place, then you confirm, what can I do to get that ask? So let's just give an example without disclosing who they are. One of the things that she was grateful for was for him being more present, right?
Right.
It was more present.
Right.
And when it was his turn, he said that he felt that she was less anxious, that the anxiety went away, and she also got a chance to decorate the beautiful house that they have. And then when he was giving her the praise or the feedback, what happened to her?
Oh, she lit up. And I think that's something that's very discounted, the praise, the appreciation. And I know, like, I talk to a lot of women, and every time I ask them, like, do you feel appreciated, the things that you do? Because, like, they tell me a whole list of things, and I'm like, wow, you do all of that? Like, that you are freaking amazing. Like, you're a rock star. But they don't feel that. They don't feel that way, one, because they're not looking at the things that they do, but also because nobody shows them appreciation.
The moment that he was giving her the feedback and appreciation, she lit up. The moment that she was giving him feedback and appreciation, he like stood up with power. So in both cases, appreciation is the key. Appreciation and feedback is oxygen for the relationship. But if you don't know how to tell each other that, and you think and you assume, okay, she knows this or he knows this, eventually the time is going to pass and you're not going to get the feedback that you want.
And then I think also, like, a way to show appreciation, sometimes we feel like we have to tell the person that it has to be right in front of you, but I know that you do this for me all the time, is that you show appreciation through a text, through a letter. And that's really, I love that. Just like, I always find like this little notes, and that reminds me, like, wow, he really appreciated that, something that I did that I would not even think of. And then you said that to me. It feels so good. And one of the things that I love is that once you start to share it as a couple, as a married couple, your kids see that. Because just last night, like I literally, like, I was crying because my son actually sent a text and he shows appreciation, but just like he sent a text and he said all these things that he was thankful for things that I have done for him. And it brought me to tears because, he said it out loud, and now I know that he feels that appreciation. And it's not something that I did right now or something that could be tangible, something that I've done in the past, but right now he gets to see it. So I think, like, once you start to live and show and do these things at home, then it has a ripple effect and everyone else sees it.
And that's the whole point of parenting, is showing them not just telling them.
Yeah.
So part of parenting is that if you don't have that connection with your wife, and if you're not appreciating your partner, how will you expect your kids to appreciate you or appreciate their partners or appreciate the teachers?
Right.
So you got to start with you showing an example. And one of the things that we told our clients is that write down what you appreciate about them at night, index cards, and then at the end of the month, just give it to each other, and you have a bunch of notes of appreciation. I remember my Abigail did that for me. I think my birthday, she gave me like a container with a little love notes. And when I read the love note, it was a different love note every day.
Yeah,
And that
that
just
was so
filled my
cute.
heart. It was amazing to actually see, what a little girl was, the feedback that little girl was giving us based on what she sees at home.
Yes. I think it's really great for us to say it out loud, and it's something about making the time to say it and to show that you really are taking the time to think about it. Like, thank you for doing this, X, Y, and Z. I appreciate something that you did. And I think that's in return makes us feel like, well, I want to continue to do that. Because I think a lot of the times the reason why we don't continue to show up the way that we should in a relationship is because we don't feel appreciated.
Expectation.
We don't feel seen. We don't feel recognized.
We expect somebody to
mothers.
tell us, and we the expectations are not met, then we create resentment.
Mm-hmm.
And for men, the resentment is when I want to have sex, or not right now, or I don't want to have sex with you right now, today, right? So the men feel rejected.
Yeah.
But then we think, okay, why is it? Why is it rejection? It's because you want sex, but she wants attention.
I want connection.
And if you don't pay attention or you don't give her connection, you're not gonna have sex. So one of the requests was like, I want to have more sex. Well, she gave me the feedback. If you pay more attention, if we have date nights, you have a better chance of having sex.
That's
so
right.
it goes both ways. If in order for you to get what you want, you have to give her what she wants. If you want to get what you want, you have to give her what he wants. So in both cases, is a give and take relationship.
That's right. And I think another thing that we said also, it's like it comes to the asking, and also as a power couple, you yourself, what are you willing to let go of? Like, what is something that's no longer serving this version of you? Maybe it served you in the past. It might serve you later on.
Yeah.
But this version of you, what are you willing to let go of that you don't want to carry that into this next new year, 2024? So I thought that was really cool, because then it gets him to think of okay, now I have all this. I have the appreciation. I have the ask. I have the feedback from this place.
What does I need to let go so
What do I
I
need
don't
to let
have
go?
to bring it to 2024?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
that's
that was
that's one
powerful.
exercise that we recommend. Find out what you can appreciate about each other. Find out one thing that you believe that you're winning in, and then have a clear ask of what you want from your partner, and find out what you're willing to let go. Let go of the things that don't serve you.
Yeah.
Let go of whatever happened in 2023, and start the year with the right intention, because the best is yet to come.
Yes. Love it.
Anything you want to add towards the end as we close this?
I would just say really schedule the time for this to happen, because if you don't schedule it, it doesn't get done. And that's something if you don't feel like you're a priority, then it just gets to the bottom of the list. And, if you haven't done it before, really allow yourself to be a priority, allow your marriage to be a priority, because then that's when we start to see the changes.
Don't be a Napoleon, okay?
Don't
be a Napoleon.
don't give
Don't go
in.
out there and
Don't be
conquer
a
the world
pleaser.
and go home and give it your leftovers. If anything else that you're learning from this podcast is, make sure if you're a king in the boardroom, you become a king at home, so you could be a king in the bedroom.
So you could feel like the queen that you are, the queen that God called you to be.
Outstanding. Love
Yes.
it. Follow
Yes.
us, comment. I'll see you next time. Learn it, live it,
experience it. Love
Love
life.
life.
If you receive any value from this conversation, comment, subscribe, and share as we continue to impact more people and take them to the next level.
And please send us your comments and questions so we could answer them in the next podcast.
See you in the next episode.